Hi everyone, and welcome back to Easy Cooking with Linda. Actually, that's what I want to talk to you about. I understand that many people have been having a hard time trying to find me on YouTube. Well, what I did not know when I created my name and channel was there was already an existing channel by that name, so that's why you can't find me. So what I'm going to do is I will be changing my name slightly to Easy Cooking with Linda B. So if you see something different, that's why I have made that change, so people are more accessible to everyone out there. So today I'm excited. This is a family tradition. I'm making for you pierogies, and I'm doing it 3 different ways. There's numerous ways you could make pierogies. Today I'm going to show you how to make cheese, spinach and cheese, and cherry pie filling and cheese. So you have a dessert pierogi and a savory. My pierogies, I have a tendency, because I like them this way, to make them smaller in size, more like an appetizer. And especially after a full meal, when you go to your dessert pierogies, you don't feel so full after eating them. But you are more than welcome to, by all means, make them larger. You can get like a 4-inch cookie cutter round and use that to cut your dough. I will be using a 3.5-inch glass opening as my cutter. That works great too. So you don't have to have a special tool. You just need to have something cylinder with an opening that is appropriate for the size you want for filling, and then go from there. All right, let me show you how I made my dough to get it all started. Okay, now I'm going to add 2 cups of sifted flour to the bowl, and a 1/4 cup of lukewarm milk, and 2 tablespoons of melted butter, 1 whole egg, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and a 1/2 cup of sour cream. Make sure your sour cream is cold. Okay, now with clean hands, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to mix this up. I'm going to mix it until it forms a dough ball. What I'm going to do now is slightly knead it. It will be sticky. Okay, now I'm going to cover this, and I'm going to set it aside so it will rest, warm up, and we can work with. And then I'll show you the next part. Okay, now to make the cheese filling, I have 16 ounces, 2 cups of farmer's cheese. And it's a good cheese to use because it is dry, it has a little tang to it, and you can also add whatever flavoring you want to with it. So for this base, I'm going to prepare it so I can use it for my other fillings. Okay, now we'll set that off to the side. And then what I'm going to add to this is I have 2 egg yolks. We'll add the richness and binder. And I'm going to add 3 to 4 tablespoons of sugar. That will help with the tanginess of this cheese. Okay, So now what I will do is I'm going to mix this all together until everything is combined. Okay, everything is completely combined, and now I will show you what to do next. Now for the spinach filling, Bob is going to take and pour 1 tablespoon of olive oil in the pan, and we're going to let that heat up. You can swish it around if you want, hon. Yeah, that sounds good. All right, now while that's heating, you go ahead and drop in your minced onions and give them a good stir. So we have two cloves of minced garlic. We're going to let them saute for about a minute. Now Bob is going to add the spinach. What I have here is a cup of frozen, thawed, and squeezed dry chopped spinach. And he's going to then take a pinch of salt and pinch of pepper for seasoning. And then when he's done stirring it, he will cover it, and we're going to let it cook probably for about 5 minutes. And when that's finished, we'll come back. Okay, we're going to check this for doneness now. Spinach looks really good, absorbed all the liquid. I did in the meantime have to add more olive oil because the spinach just absorbed it all as it was cooking. So now what we need to do here is we're going to remove it from the burner, so we want it to cool before we mix it with our cheese mixture. Okay? All right, for the cherry cheese pie filling, what I have done is I've taken about a cup of farmer's cheese, of mixture, and put it in a separate bowl. And I'm going to take a small amount of milk. And here I'm just using a light cream. And I want to incorporate it until the cheese mixture is smooth. Okay, and then in this bowl I have a can of cherry pie filling, which has been chilled. I'm not going to put them together now, but I'll show you how we assemble it after. Okay, now it's time to prepare the dough. So the first thing what I'm going to do is sprinkle some flour on my cutting board. The dough has been resting for 30 minutes. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of flour on top. And what you need to do at this point is you're going to have to knead the dough because you want to get it smooth and elasticized so that you could work with it. And if you need to, add more flour because you don't want it sticky when you're working with it. Okay, now the dough has been kneaded and everything is well combined and it's not sticky, it's smooth. I'm going to take the dough and I'm going to cut it into quarters. It's just easier to roll out 1 quarter at a time as opposed to the whole dough. I'm going to take 3 of those quarters, put them back into the bowl covered, let them sit and rest. Put this over here. Okay, now I'm going to sprinkle more flour on my cutting board. And then I'm going to take my rolling pin, thank you, and starting in the middle, rolling forward and then rolling backwards, we're going to start to smooth out the dough. Okay, now we're going to keep rolling this, and if you have to, which I always do, is spin it around until you form a circle. Applying pressure in the middle of your rolling pin. See, I'm getting a little thin in this area because it's starting to bubble. I'm going to work around that. Put some flour on my rolling pin. So it just takes a little bit of time to do this part of it. Just be patient and it will come out the way you want it. What we're looking for is about 1/8 of an inch in thickness of the dough. Okay, that right there feels very smooth, and I'm now ready to work with it. What I have is a glass with a 3.5 inch opening. Let's see if you can see it here. And I'm going to be using this as my cutter. So I'm going to start on the outer edge, and I'm going to twist the glass until I get a dough round like this. Now I'm going to continue to do that with the remaining dough, and then I'll show you how we fill them. All right, as you can see, I've got 2, 4, 5 rounds here, dough rounds, and I have all this remaining dough, and I am not going to waste it. And that's one thing you don't want to do. So you could knead it to reshape it into a ball, and then do the same process. Put your flour on the cutting board, and then roll it out again, and then continue to cut your rounds. All right, now it's time to fill the dough, and I'm going to start out with the farmer cheese mixture that we made in the beginning. I'm going to take a scoop of that, put it off to the front side, or the one that faces away from you of the dough, that half. Then what I'm going to do is take a little bit of, I have that light cream, you could use water, you could use milk, and I'm going to dip my finger in it and do a half of edge of moistening. And I do this only because sometimes when there's too much flour on the dough, it will stick and you won't be able to close it. Then you're going to fold your dough over into a half moon shape. Make sure that both sides meet. I like to crimp them with a fork, so I've got my little salad fork here. I'm going to crimp right on the inside, go all the way around. Good. And there you have it. So now this is a cheese-filled pierogi. Now the next thing I want to do is show you about the spinach filling with cheese. So I'm going to take some of my cheese. I have my spinach in my bowl, which has cooled. Like that. And then what I'm going to do is mix it all together. So I have a nice creamy mixture here. Just mix it to your liking. If you want more cheese, put more. If you want less, just don't add so much cheese. All right, so now I have the spinach mixture with the cheese all combined to my likeness. And what we will do again is take our scoop. I have a small scoop here. Again, do the same thing. Grab your spinach mixture, put it towards the end half of your round. Take your milk or cream or water, whatever you're using to wet the edges, and then fold so that the edges meet. Be careful, try not to get this filling on the edges because it'll be difficult to seal. Just like that. All right, now I have the mixture from my cheese that I had added a little bit of cream to smooth it out, and as you can see it's thick and it's a little bit smoother, along with my cherries. So now this is how I assemble this one. Take a scoop, just like before, put it off to the back side. Then I'm going to take a couple of cherries, make sure that doesn't go to the edge. You may even be able to put a third one in there. The size dumplings that I make here are typically more appetizer size. You can, of course, make them bigger. You could use a bigger cookie cutter and give yourself a bigger pierogi. See, I'm running into a little problem with this because I did kind of overfill it some. So I'm just going to stretch that dough right over. I know I didn't put any liquid around the edge, only because now I have so much of the moisture from the cherries there. And I'm going to take my fork and again crimp. Okay, now it's time to cook the dumplings. So Bobby's going to add some salt, that's good, hon, to the boiling water. And now what he's going to do is he's going to take the spinach-filled and the cheese-filled dumplings, put them right into the pot. They will fall to the bottom, but when they rise to the top, then they're ready to come out, because we're going to cook them one more step. We just want to get the rawness of the flour, the dough actually cooked at this point. Okay, as you can see, the dumplings are starting to come to the surface, not all of them. Once they all come to the top, then they're ready. So now you could just put them right into the sieve here. And then you could take the cherry ones and put them in too. You could use a spatula to help you with it. Okay, you'll have to do that. So now that they're out in this sieve here, I'm going to run them under cool water. Very gentle. How are they looking? Oh, good. All right, looks like these survived. I'm going to rinse them under cold water. You can turn the water off now, honey, because we're done with that. All right, now what we're going to do is the final cooking on these. If you didn't want to saute them in butter, you could just simply boil them a little bit longer in the pot so everything's thoroughly cooked inside, and rinse them and eat them that way. Or we like to have them sauteed in butter for a little bit of crisp, and this will finish the cooking. So Bob's now going to add the pierogies in the pan now, and we're going to saute them. And you can saute them till they're crisp or lightly crisp. In our family, we like them lightly crisp. Okay, perfect. Now the pierogies are ready to come out of the pan. We have them lightly sauteed. If you like, you can also saute onions with butter, and you could pour it on top of your pierogies when you're going to serve them. I'm going to take my dessert pierogies out of the refrigerator, because the next thing we have to do is saute these up too. These look really good, really, really good. Alright, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the cherries. I did have one casualty, and that will happen. So we're down to 2 cherries at the moment. Alright, now all our pierogies are ready. We have our cheese-filled, our spinach and cheese, and the 2 surviving cherry-filled pierogies. And what I did with the cherry-filled was I took confectioner's sugar and I just sprinkle them on top, and there you have your dessert pierogi. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you learned something new from it too. And remember, when you make these little beauties, they don't have to be just for Christmas. You can have them for any day. They're big in our family around Easter, and I'm even going to be serving these on on New Year's Eve. So, I hope you enjoyed. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell for further notifications. And hopefully I will see you soon, and you have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Please stay safe and also keep healthy. All right, bye everyone. Thank you.